Welcome to Innate Express Podcast. I'm Haig, chiropractor in Melbourne, Florida. Our mission is to ground you in service and inspire you to serve at your very best. Let's get started. Hi there, everyone. This is Haig John with our Innate Express podcast. And we have Gabriel Perez from a student at Palmer Chiropractic Colleges in Port Orange. And I'm really excited to have him here. He's been a great friend already, and we've done a lot of workshops together. And, I want to just introduce you. Hi, Gabriel.
Hi, Dr. Haig. Thank you. Super stoked to be here.
Awesome. Well, what I want to do is showcase students that I've met that I've seen a spark in their eyes and their heart for chiropractic. And, I want to talk a little bit about maybe your journey, where you've come from, where you see yourself now, and maybe where you're going, and how you
sounds good
chiropractic. All right. So why don't you say, tell us just where you come from. What brought you here?
Well, I'm from a town called Mayagüez in the west side of Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
It's a college town, it's big, very rural, at the same time city. So you got, and beach also. You got all vibes together. My formation is actually in agronomy and soil science. So I was a farmer of the family for a couple of years. I kind of went that route out of really not knowing what to do when I was young. Yeah. And that's kind of the route that my life took. Yeah. A buddy of mine called me to start an organic farming project with him. That was the start of the journey. I'm going to have to say, I started learning about the environment, our footprint on the earth. I started crossing paths with a lot of, let's say, more people in tune with their bodies, more natural lifestyles. Yeah. And I lived with two naturopaths for 3 years, and they were the ones that kind of just brought the faith back on me and kind of taught me to be responsible, to take control over my body. Yeah. I went and studied naturopathy. I quit the farming. Mm-hmm. And I went all in the naturopathic journey. And after graduating, there was a transitioning period in Puerto Rico with government elections. So when we had to take the test to get the license, the board that made tests was not operating. Yeah. So I was waiting tables at that time, and it allowed me to pay for my education as a naturopath. I was making good money, meeting good people, but it had just been a while. I was starting to kind of lose the material I had learned. So I was like, okay, I have to do something. And
that's when the drive comes. Yeah.
Well, I actually I don't know, the universe has funny ways of showing you things. I was rock climbing. I had a rock climbing accident. Oh, wow. Me and my fiance both have actually the same. We jumped off a cliff because we were climbing in the ocean. So we jumped, once we climb up, we jump back down. And I landed in this very awkward position, like my tailbone. I could feel that, like, it just traveled all the way up.
You know it, right there.
For the next few days, the adrenaline there was, I didn't feel it. I kept on through the day. But next day, I couldn't laugh. I couldn't move. My girlfriend was in the same pain. She had already had chiropractic care. I never had. Yeah. So I went with her, and the relief was immediate. Like it never had happened. We were both in the room. The guy did completely different things to both of us. I was amazed the amount of attention he paid on us. Like, he was intrigued to get to know us more.
And that was the chiropractor.
Health profession. And right there, I asked him, where did he learn it? What do I have to do? And if he was willing to write me a recommendation letter. And he said, yes, absolutely. And I didn't think twice. I just signed. Well, he went to Palmer, Iowa. I didn't really want to. I wasn't very attractive of the cold there. So he told me, don't worry, there's a campus in Florida. And I said, I went all in.
What was his name? Do you remember his name?
Yes, his name is Dr. Melvin Ruiz. He's an hour away from where I live.
So you traveled an hour to get to him.
We took an hour. I mean, the person that recommended him to us is somebody she's a mentor in our lives, basically. And we anything she says, we know it's amazing. So we went with him, and she was right.
And that's the same thing in practice. People will come to you far and wide. When you are serving at your highest, people will come in every direction. I remember you telling me the story of the naturopath way out in the woods, and people would come far and wide for him, and him being one of your mentors as well.
Correct. I mean, we were kind of hermits. The farm was in the belly button of Puerto Rico, and roads are curves, and it's crazy. And just people getting there was a sacrifice, and was kind of faith just to show up there. And I think part of the healing started there, of people really just taking that journey and getting there. And actually, I had one experience. One lady, like you said, she traveled probably hour and a half, 2 hours in not decent roads. And she was an 81-year-old retired school teacher. I remember her. And Don Ivan, the naturopath, asked her, "Hey, Gloria, how many naturopaths are on the way here?" And she said, like, "I don't know, there could be 1,000, but I never change mine. You work through all my life." And that's what I expect to cause some people, you know.
And you will.
Awesome.
Absolutely. The journey, when you said, there are two things that you said. First, the navel or the belly button of Puerto Rico. The analogy of that, or really, we look at the umbilicus. That's the life-giving place for growth for that baby.
Yeah.
And using that term really, and nurturing you to where you are now too, you know, gave you all the tools to get you to this point of service, right? You're caring for people. You've told me about him, and where it was just love and caring. You wanted to help people, and it's not always easy to find mentors like that. So that's awesome. I really like that story.
I was lucky and blessed, and I mean, I really privileged.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that gift. It's a great story. Now, where are you now? How do you feel now? As you've gone through all that, and really, I always look at as a farmer, as myself being a chiropractor, is cultivating the fields of health, life, and vitality in people as a farmer does a field, you know? So we're constantly cultivating those things. So the farmer analogy, I really love myself. I always felt that way. Even though I'm from New York City, I'm not much of a farmer. I still plant things in my own yard. But as being a chiropractor, I see that cultivation within people, mentally, physically, and everything within, you know, each person. So how do you feel where you are now?
Well, right now I'm in Daytona, Florida. Yeah. I'm in actually Q7 now, so I would say halfway through the program, and it's been a journey. It's been a learning process. I really feel that I've come a long way, and I was talking to a buddy earlier this week. I feel that for the first time, I'm actually starting to kind of connect everything we've been learning since Q1. Because we've been getting a lot of information, a lot of the science, obviously, and okay, but what do I do with the information? I feel finally we are kind of tackling all those things, which is amazing. We're very hands-on in terms of practicing actual chiropractic, not just sitting in classes, which is it's been amazing compared to other schools, I believe. But definitely always having chiropractic as the first in the list, because usually I see with other students, it's easy to fall into the academics mentality, which are important. Definitely, they're the foundation. But at the end of the day, we're chiropractors. People expect us to be very efficient in actually adjusting. So I think we definitely have to have a balance between classes and technique, whatever technique you feel that is suited for you, for your body type, your beliefs. But but definitely keeping an open mind I think is what has allowed me to feel comfortable during the program, for sure.
And you're studying for boards now, right? Is this part 1 for you?
Part 1 in January.
In January.
January 18th. So that's going to be my birthday gifts. My birthday is 2 days before. So.
All right. Well, that's a good birthday gift. I tell you, what I noticed with boards and with students and with myself, when I took boards, I remember after part 1, it seemed like everything sort of melded together. Like you're talking about, you're studying all this. It's not the boards itself, but somehow you get a deeper camaraderie, and you realize the academics, just like you said, is not really the important thing. You need it. You got to get through boards and do all those things, but it's the hands-on and the philosophy. Somehow the board sort of tied all. Once I got through part 1, it felt like everything was just even keel. We just not coasting through, because we actually started working a lot harder in our adjusting. We got more connected with each other and practiced a lot more. But it seems like you're just on that upward climb of just the success through school and everything. I'm excited for you to take part 1, because I've been with you a little bit in your journey, and I'm excited to see it. And so how do you feel your journey's been? Like, just with seminars and workshops, and maybe, you guys have you were coming to the office and all that type of thing. I mean, you left at 5 o'clock in the morning to work out with us at 7 a.m. That's commitment. And a lot of the students we're going to do some interviews with them too. But, how do you feel your journey's been so far in that realm?
I honestly, I was overwhelmed at the beginning because all I knew about chiropractic was my experience about the pain that I had and actually feeling relief. I really didn't ask him much about it. I knew from before, and actually the naturopath, my first mentor, had told me that whenever the body is aligned, the body heals faster. So that always stuck with me, and that was what I knew about chiropractic. Basically, that the same as in naturopathy, the power that makes the body heals the body. So I came to school very grounded on that, and as I sat down through classes, I saw kind of a polarity between our history, our philosophy, and the course has been the profession's kind of taking, where they're trying to, definitely people want to see the evidence and the science behind it. So, but the problem is that I saw a lot of people very leaning towards each other, whereas there has to be a balance. So I also got a little bit overwhelmed because I didn't know there were so many techniques. Oh yeah. So many approaches to the body, the human frame, and that was exciting. Like you talk to students, some say you have to do this, some say you have to do that, but definitely I tried everything. I went to all the clubs, almost all of them. I asked my upper quarters what has worked. I've been blessed to connect with people like you that also have guided me with other routes. Students from other chiropractic colleges have really provided a lot of input in all the resources that are out there, and maybe here in Fort Orange we don't necessarily cross them that easily. So that's been a major thing. I'm really honestly open to learning anything that I believe that all these techniques, definitely they exist at some point in time. They help somebody get out of the misery they were living. So they have a purpose, at least, or maybe not 100 patients, but if one patient gets better from that, that's perfect. And I really respect anybody in school, and that's allowed me to really make a lot of friends, to connect with people. I really just enjoy that, meeting people from everywhere and hearing their story of chiropractic and refining my story also is just kind of always let's say just thinking about my why, reminding myself why I'm here. Why did I make this decision in this point in my life? I'm 33 years old. well, about to be 33. I'm kind of the oldest guys in my class. Surrounded by a lot of young people, which is cool. They have a lot of energy, and we kind of like feed from each other. It's been pretty nice.
That synergy is really important. I started chiropractic school when I was 30, and so I can feel what you're, that sort of where you are now. The one thing I heard you say was help them through their misery. And my mentor, one of my mentors, Pasquale Sarasoli, we used to talk about suffering. And an old term definition of suffering means transformation. And he said, what we're here to do is help ease people's suffering, which means help them through their transition. And when Didi says we connect the material with the spiritual, and we're helping them through that transition of suffering towards a brighter life, a brighter self, I see that as creating, a heavenly earth, a place that we all want to be in once we get through all this junk and garbage of the earthly world. I know this gets a little metaphysical. We can go on all day that way, but,
Powerful.
If we're thinking in bigger terms of pain, suffering, that's easy. That's the side effect of chiropractic. That's relieved. But when we are looking at a brighter future, a brighter life, I think more clearly. My kids are growing up making better decisions. Their friends make better decisions. That energy travels out to the universe. We're changing and enhancing the universe. So you touched on something quickly you said, but it is a very, very powerful statement. Very, very powerful. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. You inspired.
It is very powerful. And I think also, because people go through chiropractic school and they barely read a chiropractic book. It's something I've noticed. So they're a little bit, there's a gap between those things that you're just mentioning, which I think if people brought that to their office or to the table right now while in student clinic, the effects will be amazing with their patient. Their ability to connect will be even in another level. And I think that comes with a desire to work on yourself first, which is something that you have taught us, instilled in us since we met. And I've been blessed to really have crossed paths with a lot of people that believe the same way. And we never finish working on ourselves. We always find something to work on. And I think that is, once we realize that and we clear ourselves from all that mud, like you call it, we just become a clear vessel to help and to serve and to watch miracles just happen before our eyes. And just in student clinic right now, where everybody's relatively healthy, you see changes. People start smiling, and people kind of feel their bodies moving differently, thinking clearer, and that's progress. That's progress.
Mm-hmm. That's all really, it's such big stuff. And we realize the adjustment's bigger than we realize. And when you talk about being clear, in chiropractic, we often talk about being a clear and hollow vessel, because the adjustment isn't from me, it's through me. And then once you start feeling that in your adjustment and you step out of the way, we learn a lot of very expensive stuff. Chiropractic school is not cheap. We want to use all those little tidbits of knowledge, but really when we start really serving people, it's stepping out of the educated. And BJ wrote nearly all his books were really all about that, except like volume 18, where it's very scientific and research, and the clinical research books. Really, when we're talking about stepping out of our educated and allowing innate to take over, and we just are, and we're a clear and hollow vessel to allow it through me. That's where the ego says, hold on, I'm the big
exactly.
Right? That's when things start falling apart, I have to say.
Yes.
It's a practice. It takes time. It takes work.
Correct. It takes work, but the rewards are, wow.
Amazing. So that was, there was a lot of meat in that. I'm going to go back and listen to those. We talked about a lot just now. So, how do you feel? Where do you see your future? I mean, your future is going to be bright. I see it. I see it in you. The future chiropractic, future your service. I know you're thinking about getting through boards. I know that.
Well, I mean, honestly, I do remind myself to be present every day, and I honestly have talked. My fiance is also in school, so every decision we make, we try to be congruent with each other's way of thinking and our visions for our goals for life. So it's a privilege having her close to me and just somebody to really help you focus whenever you're kind of moving away from the ropes. But we kind of play with different options. I at the end, honestly, I really want to return to my home, Puerto Rico. I feel that people there will benefit tremendously, as in every part of the world. I'm happy that I only need these two beautiful hands for them to start taking care of themselves. I see myself happy. I see myself doing this for the rest of my life. I feel that I am going to keep on learning to my last breath. It's amazing how this profession is so diverse, and everybody's a teacher, and I just really want to prepare myself to the best of my ability. So when I'm lying in front of the table, I know that I'm honored that this person chose me and they deserve the best version of me. So that is my goal, really, to work every day to be better than yesterday's Gabriel. And hopefully, I mean, I'm a very have good impact in my community, and I believe in the world too. So I working every day to feel those changes. In terms of school, I'm just sitting through class. Really, I try to focus on the academics because all I can think is about the adjusting and technique. But I know we still got to go through the program. So for me, the struggle has been kind of balancing the academic with the actual chiropractic adjustment. I feel that I have come to a very good point where some things come a little bit more effortlessly. Others, I've kind of identified which one I have to tackle a little bit more harder.
Yeah.
So that's helped. I've surrounded myself with people. I just feel that a lot of people here are just so willing to help and get you through. And together we actually go farther. So it's been nice counting on those people next to me.
What I was going to ask you, if you had any input for other students and people watching, but that's some of the most important thing is really having that camaraderie, practicing together. You make mistakes with your people that you're close to, even working on how you talk about chiropractic and even practicing different things, technique, philosophy, all that stuff. So that's really great. Having that is so valuable. I'm glad you said that.
Correct.
The journey is amazing, and
I don't know if I answered your question, by the way. I kind of went
you answered there perfectly. That was a great answer. I was happy. I was inspired myself, and I really appreciate it very much. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we call it a session?
I definitely want to say, because I think there are a lot of people that might be going through school, sitting in the classrooms, and not necessarily knowing why they chose to be here. And I think that from the get-go, I think everybody should have a moment of introspection, like why they're in this profession, what is their goal of going through a long program, hard program, with an investment, and
expensive, yeah,
without really knowing if this is what they like. Yeah, even yesterday I was filling my water bottle in school, and this guy is in quarter 5. this is the quarter that we start in we call it TOL. Basically, it's the adjustment technique lab, where we get to work with other students under the supervision of other doctors, and they kind of help us with the technique and supervisors and whatnot. And this is week three. So we've already gone through 5 or 6 days of TOL in total. And somebody asked him, "Oh, what quarter are you? I'm in quarter 5. Oh, so you're adjusting already?" Nah, I haven't been there, that backyard adjusting. I had to hold my mouth, like my words, because I was like, it's backyard adjustment because you make it a backyard adjustment, because you don't have any purpose behind the adjustment. So that helped me realize that there's a lot of people here without clarity of exactly why they're here and what is even chiropractic, and so many questions that you could ask yourself. But when I heard that, it threw me off. When I was in quarter 5, all I could think was adjust. As the first day of TOL, I was in there. I already had 2 patients lined up, and
Nice.
And every day, even if I didn't have patients, I would go there, and
that's the key.
Somebody would come in and need an adjustment. I raised my hand. Let's go. Even if I didn't know exactly what they asked for, but I put myself. I showed up.
Yeah.
And I put myself in those situations where I could practice and learn, and it was crazy listening to that, because there's a lot of people that are here and don't like to adjust.
It happens. I mean, I just commented on a post on Facebook, and I had, 4 or 5 people talking, complaining about DD and this antique stuff, and why do you do these things? And it's just absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't end in school. It's just those people blossom into complainers about why they're failing in practice, I have to say.
Yes.
Those things showing up, playing full out, whatever it is, even if it's a seminar, you're like, oh, why did I show up to this one? You probably are there for a reason. Even if it doesn't feel right at the moment, play full out. And, what do you have to lose is, a little bit of time. You're probably going to change someone else's life that needed you to be next to them, right? You're going to uplift people around you. There's that one lost person maybe that might be there that might need to hear you in their ear just a little bit. So everything has a purpose. I love hearing that, and being, going to the seminars, connecting with people, creating your groups, that's awesome input. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, going to the seminars has been big, honestly. I've taken a few that, at the time were serve a purpose, like you say, even though I probably won't use a lot of it. Others have helped me connect with a lot of people from every part of the world.
Yeah.
We just came from one, and there were doctors from England, there were doctors from Spain, from the Netherlands, and just talking to them, it was growth. And so I believe, in school you get taught a lot, for sure. But hey, Malcolm.
Hey.
What's up?
This is the other thing.
Sharp.
You bring your family to work. You're free the rest of your life, right? This service is absolutely amazing. Malcolm,
that's pure joy.
Right? Can you say hi, everybody?
Hi. Hi. Happy to see you.
Awesome. Okay. So, yeah.
No, I was gonna finish by saying.
Apologies for interrupting you.
Nah, cool. Chiropractic school, they're gonna definitely do the best of teaching you the most they can in that time, but that's not going to be all the information you're going to need to be successful. Right. So it's up to you to really have the hunger to look out for it, and we're not alone. We there's people out there really willing to help. I'm willing to help. I put myself out there to help anybody that has any questions, and obviously I'll answer them with my level of understanding. It might not agree with them, but it is what it is.
It'll come back to you 100-fold as well,
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, that was a good talk. I really enjoyed our conversation, Gabriel. And
me too.
I haven't seen your face in a little while. I'm happy to see you. I can't wait to see you again. And this was a great interview we had together. I like the word interview. We get an interview of each other. And
yes.
I can't wait to have more students grow on this, and we're going to be sharing this and place it on our Innate Express podcast page on YouTube and on Facebook. So we're going to share it around. And I thank everyone for joining. Leave your comments. You could send me messages. If you have some suggestions for more people on our podcast, we're open to it. We are showcasing students. This is where we are. I want students to shine, and you're the brightest shining light today, and I really appreciate you, Gabriel. All right, God bless you. Have a beautiful day, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Haig. It's always amazing hearing your voice, and appreciate it. Can't wait to see you again.
You're welcome.
I don't want mommy.